India has just pulled off a massive win in the global tech manufacturing game. And this is sending shockwaves all through the global supply chain. According to a report in the Economic Times, this is a first. India has now started exporting components for Apple MacBooks and AirPods to China and Vietnam. Yes, you heard that right. China, the very country that has long dominated the global tech supply chain, is now importing key components from India. Now, this marks a huge shift in the balance of power and signals India's rise as a major global tech manufacturing hub. Neil Shah, Vice President at Counterpoint Research, explains, quote, India is rising as a manufacturing alternative for Apple alongside China and Vietnam. It's not just about finished iPhones and other Apple products. India is now producing and exporting components to China and Vietnam for finishing these products as a source, unquote. For the last 20 years, India has been the net importer of tech components, but this game-changing development is flipping that script entirely. Until now, sub-assemblies and key parts for Apple products were largely imported from China and Vietnam. But with Apple's aggressive expansion of its local supply chain in India, the country is quickly emerging as a crucial player in global electronics manufacturing. This strategic shift not only strengthens India's position in the global market but also diversifies Apple's supply chain, reducing its dependence on any single country, namely China. So what's driving this massive shift? Apple's suppliers in India include Tata Electronics, Motherson Group, Aquis, and Jabil are now producing vital electronic components for Apple's ecosystem. These components are being exported to China and Vietnam for final assembly now, a reversal of the traditional supply chain flow. Apple's strategic decision to diversify its supply chain and reduce dependence on China is clearly playing out, and India is reaping the benefits. But why is Apple betting big on India? The answer lies in numbers. In 2024 alone, Apple set a record by exporting iPhones worth 1 lakh crore rupees from India, or worth a staggering $12.8 billion. This marks a 42% rise just in 1 year. Domestic production also surged by nearly 46%, hitting $17.5 billion. Now, these various figures show India's potential as not just manufacturing base but also a global export powerhouse. With such remarkable growth, Apple's commitment to expanding its operations in India seems stronger than ever. Reports now suggest Apple has also started assembling the newly launched iPhone 16e in India for both domestic and for export purposes. This move is part of Apple's broader strategy to establish a robust and self-reliant supply chain within India. With this kind of momentum, India's electronic sector is gearing up for rapid expansion and positioning itself as a global hub for component manufacturing. The benefits of this expansion are manifold, from creating thousands of jobs in India to attracting billions in foreign direct investment, or FDI. The Indian government's push through Make in India initiative and the potential introduction of a $3 billion production-linked incentive, or PLI scheme, for component manufacturers are further adding fuel to this growth. These policy measures aim to encourage domestic production, reduce reliance on imports, and thus make India a competitive player in the global market. Analysts believe India is on track to achieving an ambitious $40 billion export target just by 2031. Underscoring the country's growth influence in the global tech supply chain. But what does India's rise mean for the global tech landscape? Countries like Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan, which have long been dominant players in the electronic manufacturing, could start feeling the heat as India also strengthens its position. As India continues to climb the manufacturing value chain, it is likely to emerge as a strong alternative to traditional tech giants due to vast talent pool in India. Domestically, this shift also promises to create thousands of jobs, attract investment, and establish India as a tech manufacturing powerhouse. The ripple effects of this transformation will be felt across the global tech ecosystem for years ahead. So here's the big question: is India on its way to becoming the next global electronics manufacturing superpower? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.